2022 Ford Bronco Raptor vs. Jeep Wrangler Rubicon 392, Battle of the Boldest Off-Roaders. Driving from Los Angeles to the picturesque town of Lone Pine, California, we're having a deep think about what led us to this point. Who in the world approved dropping a 470 HP V8 into the Jeep Wrangler to create the Rubicon 392? And at the same time, who at Ford can we credit for the 418 HP Bronco Raptor? The basic vehicles beneath these boldest variants are already massively capable off-roaders, vehicles able to take you places few others can. Why the need for opposite power? Neither of these subs makes much sense frankly. They're ridiculous, and we mean that in the most complimentary way possible. The Raptor's heart is a 3.0-liter twin-turbo V6 with 418 HP and 440 lb-ft of torque, coupled to a 10-speed automatic transmission. The hardware is largely the same as found in the Ford Explorer Street, but the Bronco has more power and a different mission, necessitating a new tune for the gearbox. A suspension overhaul comes courtesy of the Ford Performance Timo, also perfect the Mustang Shelby GT500 including new Fox shocks and unique control arms. The result is 13.0 inches of front travel and 14.0 at the rear, with ground clearance checking in at 13.1 inches. Our as-tested price was a not insignificant $77,015, above a starting sticker of $70,095. The 392 on the other hand, starts even higher than our test Bronco at $81,190. Our test vehicle carried a $87,165 tag. A massive 6.4-liter Hemi V8 Ford doesn't offer an 8-cylinder Bronco rumbles under hood, to the tune of 470 HP and 470 lb-ft of torque. Its 8-speed automatic sends that power to all four wheels, via a full-time active transfer case. In 4WD Auto, this Wrangler sends 70% of torque to the rear axle, but can send up to 50% to the front in certain conditions. Several changes were made to accommodate the bigger power plant, including relocating the suspension mounts. The rear springs are 20% softer, and the front springs 10% stiffer, compared to the regular Rubicon, and the technical monotube shocks are fitted. Okay, so how do they drive? The 52 HP and 30 lb-ft gap between the Raptor and the 392 is certainly felt, with the Wrangler being much faster and more eager to pile on speed than the Bronco. The delta between the 2 to 60 mph is a big 2.0 seconds, at 4.2 versus 6.2, and stays the same through the quarter-mile mark, which the Wrangler covers in 12.9 seconds. The Jeep backs up its numerical victory with a sensory one. Press the throttle, and the active exhaust erupts with a sound like a dragon breathing fire. The Raptor simply doesn't have the shove or the sonic chops of the 392. It's not slow, but it ain't that fast. It features, as Dr. Scott Evans said of the Ford, the Raptor is also less engaging to drive, though only slightly to the good. Its width makes it feel much more stable than the Jeep, which turns in a bit more eagerly, but always feels more top-heavy. And the Ford's ride is suppler, but that girth also makes the Ford more of a handful in urban environments. It's harder to see out of underwater. The 360-degree camera system helps more difficult to maneuver and park. The Wrangler offers superior outward visibility and feels like a micro car in comparison. Ultimately, though on-road manners are a secondary point for this race, even if that's where they'll likely spend most of their time, it was time to head for the dirt. Hopping from the Wrangler's cabin and into the Broncos is like swapping an iPhone 10 for a 13 Pro. Wrangler gets the job done, but it lacks the latest technological polish. Having carried forward basically unchanged for 5 years, the Wrangler's 8.4-inch Connect touchscreen, for instance, has tons of features, but its resolution appears lower, and it feels tiny compared to the Ford's big 12.0-inch display. Both infotainment setups have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but the Broncos offers a wireless connection, and although the Jeep's off-road maps are extremely useful, you have to activate its breadcrumbs feature yourself. The Raptor automatically drops little dots on a map when it notices you've gone off the road, a neat feature in the event you get lost. We also prefer the look and overall customization of the Bronco's digital instrument cluster over the Jeep's analog speedo and tachometer. The Bronco is also more spacious, with more room between driver and front passenger, and the rear seat feels like a living room, next to the far cozier Jeeps. So, Jeep or Bronco? After driving both subs back-to-back over different terrains, we didn't have a clear winner. Both subs are big fun, can tackle anything in their paths, and offer distinct takes on a rowdy off-roader. The Jeep is faster, sounds better, and is more nimble, but the Bronco has a more versatile suspension, looks like nothing else, and is a nicer, more modern place to spend time. Deciding first and second place came down to value. We asked ourselves, if the Wrangler 392 is $10,000 better than the Bronco Raptor, which keeps pace with or exceeds the Jeep in nearly every area, but the Bronco Raptor offers a slightly broader range of capabilities for less. Both are excellent vehicles, but that makes the Raptor our pick of this ridiculous